Ladies and gentlemen, as you are undoubtedly aware, a protracted and deeply entrenched conflict is currently unfolding in the Amhara region of Ethiopia, characterized by relentless and ferocious confrontations between Amhara Fano forces and the Ethiopian National Defense Force, ENDF, across a multitude of fronts. This comprehensive update seeks to furnish you with the most recent developments from a variety of locations within the Amhara region where these fierce hostilities persist. In the Wello region, particularly in Guba Lafto, Mekan Selam, and Gedo Br, a tempest of combat has erupted between the ENDF and Amhara Fano forces. Both factions have borne the brunt of heavy casualties, and the conflict shows no sign of abating, continuing to escalate in intensity. Further reports indicate that a pitched battle rages on between Amhara Fano forces and the ENDF in South Gondar, especially along the strategically significant A2 highway. Areas such as Hake, Mersa, Tsehai Mucha, Tehuladere, and Gasai have become epicenters of intense conflict. The Fano forces claim to have executed successful ambushes against ENDF soldiers and convoys in these regions, inflicting substantial losses upon the Ethiopian military. The Ethiopian army has responded to this escalating crisis by deploying armored vehicles and a substantial number of troops to the southern Wello front. Simultaneously, reports suggest that Fano forces have managed to wreak havoc on ENDF convoys, resulting in the destruction of trucks and armored vehicles during recent clashes. Regrettably, there are alarming reports of the ENDF launching attacks against Amhara civilians on multiple fronts within the Dira district, all in accordance with directives issued by the Ethiopian government. The ONL forces, initially stationed for defensive purposes in the area, have now transitioned to actively targeting the Amhara community residing in Dira district. These harrowing incidents have included soldiers setting fire to civilian properties, homes, and causing extensive destruction. Eyewitness accounts further reveal that the ONL forces stationed in the area for protection mysteriously vanished overnight, leaving the Amhara population vulnerable to violence and widespread devastation. In a deeply concerning development, Amhara militias in various regions, encompassing Sanka, Machar, Woinia, Wanzai, Woldia, and Malal in northern Shiwa, have adamantly refused to participate in the conflict alongside the ENDF against Amhara Fano forces. As a consequence, ENDF has reportedly taken these militias into custody, creating an atmosphere of heightened tension between the Amhara militias and the Ethiopian military in these regions. Returning to the A2 highway within the southern Wello front, Fano forces claim to have made significant territorial gains around Wichel city subsequent to intense combat. Fresh updates from credible sources now confirm that Fano Amhara forces have successfully obliterated 2 ENDF convoys comprising trucks and armored vehicles in Wichele Volo. This has led to considerable losses for the Ethiopian military, and skirmishes persist in the surrounding areas. In Ibanat, situated in Gondar, unrelenting fighting endures, with Fano forces causing substantial casualties among Amhara militia, Amhara police, and Amhara riot police. Notably, Fano forces have also managed to capture a significant cache of arms and vehicles, and some leaders on the Amhara side have met their demise. The conflict continues to spiral out of control, with no indication of de-escalation. Multiple regions within the Amhara region remain embroiled in this ongoing turmoil. Lalibela city remains a focal point, with intense combat persisting on the outskirts, particularly in Bibala city. Fano forces are making concerted efforts to breach Lalibela city from various directions, yet the city remains firmly under the control of the ENDF. In Vegdi, located in Gojam, there are reports of a high-ranking ENDF general making menacing threats to local residents, suggesting a willingness to resort to violence against civilians and to destroy the town itself should the populace continue to identify as Amhara. Anticipations point toward the federal government maintaining a substantial military presence throughout the Amhara region, particularly in major cities such as Bahir Dar, Gondar, Desi, Mota, and Kombolcha. These urban centers hold significant strategic importance within the Amhara region, and ongoing clashes have been reported in various areas within Gondar and in the vicinity of Bahir Dar. In a disconcerting revelation, recent reports suggest that in Dera Igze, also situated in Gondar, the ENDF has taken the drastic step of assassinating the district leader, accusing him of failing to mobilize adequate efforts against Fano forces. In a development of paramount importance, recent updates indicate that Amhara Fano forces have successfully recaptured Mekane Salam city in Wolo Amhara. These forces have now assumed control of the city, and hostilities persist in the city's outskirts. Over 300 prisoners have been freed from police stations, with Amhara Fano soldiers having captured several police officers and ENDF soldiers within the city. The situation in the Amhara region remains highly fluid, dynamic, and marked by unremitting volatility, with continuous developments on multiple fronts. In present-day Ethiopia, the Amharas believe that the existing constitution and ethnic-based territorial arrangement disregards their interest and safety. Amhara nationalists underscore that the narrations embedded in the country's current constitution expose the Amharas to ethnic cleansing and genocide. They also argue that the existing ethnic-based federal arrangements have disfranchised and marginalized more than 10 million Amharas outside the Amhara region. Moreover, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's inability to prevent the killings and displacement of Amharas from Oromia and Benishangul Gumuz regions has sown distrust and lack of confidence in his administration. The Fano and the zone and local level officials of the Amhara region view the emergence of the Oromo Prosperity Party as a dominant force within the Prosperity Party and the federal government as a threat that undermines the political and security interests of the Amhara people. Before we conclude this update, we'd like to encourage you to stay tuned for further developments on this complex and evolving situation. Your continued interest and engagement are essential in staying informed about events in the Amhara region and Ethiopia as a whole. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you ensure that you receive timely updates on this and other critical issues. Subscribing also helps us reach a broader audience, which is crucial in raising awareness and fostering understanding of the challenges facing various regions around the world.